Hey, this is for you, Steven. From Steven to another Stefan. Pretty much the same name. Yeah, aside from a few letters. And I saw your video about nature. And I listened to it very carefully, actually. And I mean, I can understand your viewpoint that you believe it to be some sort of evil trap or some sort of satanic thing where everything eats itself and rots and dies and pain and suffering and all that. And this, as you can see here, right? Who do you think did this? Nature itself? I highly doubt it. I don't think nature can cut itself off. How does it even go to work? I'm not sure, but you gotta tell me. And even the reason why somebody would do this and leave this like this, I could have understood if they came here to get together wood or something. Okay, sure, cool. No, they just started and left the shit here. Why? Well, if they, my point of view, but it could be wrong because I never claimed to be right. I like you, I'm just a worthless failure that never amount to anything in life, and he's been for his own experience. That's all. Never claimed to be right. I wish I would. Trust me, if I was right, I wouldn't be here. I would be like them. 11 billion subscribers, money all over the place, successful life, chilling here with makeup, with fake lighting, within my shilling studio someplace, talking about Jesus or whatever it is that they do. So definitely that shows that it just didn't work out for me, unlike them. But you can see the amount of destruction they brought here. It's pretty scary to think about it. For what reason, I do not know, man. I wish, you know, if you had answers to it, please give it to me, because I don't know. I don't know what's in English. Well, I don't know the English word for it, but it doesn't matter. I suppose you understand. But my point is, I listen to your video a lot, and I understand extremely well your point. Looking like it. No, look, what's the word in English? Looking from the outside, it is like that. But most of the things you're speaking of, which is the tornadoes, thunders, fire, that all this fire that doesn't come from here, man. In all my years being here, I've never seen a fire occurring. Why? Well, I believe myself that fire is a sort of requires a sort of understanding of the material in order to do. What do I mean by it? We humans could never come up with fire. It's simply not our thing, because we do not understand the material at this level. We do not understand the oh yeah, this is lots of stuff there. The reindeers love to eat. You can eat it too. It doesn't taste like much. It's kind of just like musky, foresty. I'm not sure to explain it. It tastes kind of like ground, similar. But so, what was I saying? I forgot. Oh right, that about fire, thunder striking and fire comes. Those are all ideas that they gave us. That I do not personally know. I never seen it, so I couldn't possibly tell you if that's real or not. But in here, all my years here, I never seen ever such. You can see here they brought some destruction also. These trees definitely didn't cut themselves down, did they? And now you have to wonder, why would they do this? Well, because reindeers come up and eat here, so they have to do something about it. Probably they spray some poison. Who knows what they even did? Who knows? But you see, the evil nature, it's so strong that it will recover, regardless of what it is that they do. Regardless of how much evil they put out, regardless of how much evil they spray, they will always recover, man. That's just the way it is. But I wanted to say something. I always keep losing the what is in English?
It's never nature's fault, right? Is that what you're saying, Stefan? If you got scratched on that tree bark on the left side of the screen, and you got a cut, and it got bacteria in it, and you were far from, you're probably close to a city, a walk away. But if you were in a big country like Canada, you can't just walk hundreds of miles. You could be hundreds of miles into the forest because it's a huge country. You get a scratch that gets infected, you're done. You die a slow death. That's nature. Bacteria is part of nature. I don't think you're thinking beyond trees. You think that's nature and reindeer. Bacteria is part of nature. Disease is part of nature. You haven't done the work of studying. You just want to make response videos. And this is typical in this realm. Nature good, people bad, right? That's what normies think. How are you different from normies? They think that nature's good, people are bad. What's the difference between you and their view? What's the difference between you and most Christians? No difference. Or you and most pagans? They worship nature, but the earth's still going to eat you in the end, even if you love it and you praise it. You could get down on your knees in this video and say, thank the earth, praise earth, Mother Earth, Gaia. It's still going to eat you in the end. No matter how much you put it on a pedestal, that's what it's going to do. So what's your response to that?
The thought, not the thought, the thing of the thought, the line of thought.
Would you praise cannibals? Would you praise humans? Would you praise anything else that would eat you, a monster? No, but you'll praise Earth, right? Because you don't want to view it that way. Anything else that could eat you, you'd say, I don't want to be eaten by a crocodile if you left Finland. I don't want to be eaten by a polar bear. You don't want to be eaten by a shark, but you'll praise Earth, which is going to eat you. Why is it different? Why is the standard different for Earth? You wouldn't praise a shark that's eating you. Why do you want to praise the Earth? Maybe it's because it's all you have is walks in nature. Maybe that's the reason. It's the only place you can feel good. Does it feel, I've said this many times on my channel, feels better walking, hiking in the woods than in the city. Does that mean nature's good though? Just because it feels better? No. So you got to start seeing deeper. It feels good to walk in nature, but does that mean nature's good or Earth is good? No. Earth doesn't care about you.
Thought. So I never seen thunder, like striking and making fire myself. Never. I seen thunder, of course, but fire I never seen it. And I believe that fire is some sort of artifact that they made up. And what do I mean by it? It requires a certain knowledge of the chemistry of this world, or whatever you want to call it. I'm not sure the exact words. And it's a chemical reaction. The only people who had anything to do.
I've seen a neighbor's house get struck not by thunder but by lightning, and it started on fire. Their garage that was attached to their house, but there was no living quarters above the garage. It was like a triple garage with nothing above it, but it was still on fire. The fire department had to come. So yes, lightning does cause fire. It can cause fire striking a house. It can cause fire striking an animal. It can strike cows in a field. It can strike a person and light their clothes on fire. It can strike a tree. I've had a tree struck by lightning as well, and it split. It didn't start on fire, thankfully, but it split. But it was a very sappy tree. It wasn't a dry tree. So yeah, maybe you haven't seen it personally. Have you seen Canada? Probably not. You probably haven't seen where I live. Does it mean it doesn't exist? Because you haven't personally been here to see it? Are you measuring the world, the entire world, just by what you've personally seen? Is that what you're doing? If you've never been to Paris, France, I guess it doesn't exist because you haven't been there. Is that your logic? That's totally illogical.
With creation at the beginning knew how to. Therefore, fallen angel, or whatever you want to call it. Now I don't know what they are. If I knew what was, I wouldn't be here like human. I wouldn't be here wondering. I would be like those shows that you review, those shows that you uncover. I would be left in with the Nephilim fucking bullshit going on, and whatever the fuck it is that they do. I don't even know. But point being, I believe that the fire in itself is not something that is part of the natural order. Like it's an artifact. It's a modification of the natural order, and so that's where the fires in Australia or whatever they do. You should look into it if you want to. But it's more psyops, conspiracy stuff. They basically, I was reading about it, and some people are claiming that it's something to do with a sort of a cleanup operation that they're doing because there has been around since the 1800s up until later, constantly every few years or so, this kind of fires propagated out of nowhere. And some people believe that they do this to clean up whatever is left of the old world, right? Before they came and hijacked everything. Supposedly, but I don't know, because I said I'm just a fucking failure. I wish I was a successful person. But this wasn't, I wasn't born in the right, what you want to call it. I wasn't born in the right century, maybe, I don't know. Point being. And what else? Thunder, I saw it, yeah. But I believe also that's I believe they control the weather somehow. Not sure how they do it, to be honest. What else? Then all these animals that eat themselves. Most of these animals, like these sticks, these things like this, these parasites, I don't believe them needed to be part of the natural order. What do I mean by it? Well, I talked with another friend of mine, and he showed me, and he also believes that these sticks and these kind of animals is something that they are carrying some sort of disease, and these animals also are either manufactured, they've been hijacked to carry this sort of diseases, right? Like the Lyme disease, what was the other thing? The syphilis, which is also related with this bugs, bites, and stuff like that. It's again another conspiracy that you gotta look into if you have time. I don't think you even care, because at the end of the day, we shouldn't care. They just put it out for us to fight each other, essentially, divide and conquer. That's what they do. It's their little game, right? I want to find a place to sit down, because I'm sure you would hate to see this thing shaking all the time, right? Let me see if I can find like a... And here we're deep, man. But you see how much destruction they brought. I show you. You can see down there, it's like some tree fall down. But that could have been fall by itself, I don't know. But it's obvious that...
So this guy doesn't seem to believe that trees can fall on their own, which is interesting. He doesn't seem to believe that fire is an element of nature. It's one of the elements of nature, and one of the elements also of magic. Okay, so let's say fire is unnatural. Let's say fire is fabricated, that fire is not part of nature. Hypothetically, I'll roll with it. Okay, it's not part of nature. Okay, what about all the rest? See, his whole argument is, if Stephen's saying it's bad, it's not part of nature. Diseases, bad, therefore not part of nature. Fire can burn forests, therefore not part of nature. Animals, I didn't say eat themselves, they eat each other. Everything's eating something else. Birds eat fish, eat worms, eat whatever. Eat rodents. Birds of prey will eat rodents, they'll eat rats, mice, squirrels, chipmunks, rabbits. Everything under the sea is eating something else. Everything on the land. Everything is eating other things, other living beings. You want to say, oh, that's not part of nature, though, it was changed. What is part of nature, then? Just the good stuff that you like looking at that makes you happy? You want to pretend that all the rest is not part of nature, and the only stuff in nature is the good stuff that makes you feel good. Fascinating. But you know, the evil that runs this realm wants you to believe that nature is good, because they can get you returning here forever. They want you to believe Earth is good. They don't want you to see that you're in a bad place. They want you to believe, Finn, what you're believing. You're doing exactly what they want. You'll never get out of here with that view. Never. Because you love where they put you. And you think this is real. This is the only place that's real. And nature's good. They've just ruined it. That's your view. Or belief.
They, at some point in time, they came here and did some fucking bullshit. You can clearly see it. You see? And that pisses me off, to be honest. Because it's because of them that shit gets like this. It's because of them. You know? Whatever the fuck they are. I don't even fucking know, but... that they destroy this for I already explained why I believe that they do this. Force us into their buildings, into their Saturnian Satan, whatever you want to call it, base system, live in an apartment 4x4, 9 to 5 job, and all that stupid shit, so that we essentially are completely attached from creation, right? Because this is what actually I believe this was actually is. I know you believe that this is actually their creation. I don't think so. I believe myself that this is the original creation, but and what end up happening is that this whatever the fuck are they? Some say that they are fallen angels. I want to sit down. Sorry. Some say they are Nephilim. There's a lot of tales, mythologies, and books like the Bible that tells about this sort of stuff. I couldn't possibly know, man. Like you, I'm just a slave stuck in here with a shitty 9 to 5 job that doesn't pay fuck all.
He says, like you, I'm just a slave. I'm not a slave, and I don't have a 9 to 5 job.
And just in a slave system. But what the difference is, I'm trying to get out of it with the best of my abilities, right? Which are not very much, you know, because that's how this system treats us, right? Prevents us from, you know. And what is it that I wanted to say? Also, I'm thinking. Yeah, all this pain and suffering that you believe nature causes you, that there are animals wild that are gonna attack you. I'm deep here, man. I've been here for you know how many years? I don't even know, I lost count. And no animal ever attacked me. I've seen wolves and bears. If you don't bother them, they're not gonna bother you. It's that simple. You see? I don't know about polar bears. We don't have them here, so I couldn't possibly tell you if they eat humans or not. I don't know. But for all I have experienced, I've never been attacked, never been bothered. You know.
So it all goes by your experience. I said in my video that polar bears have a taste for humans. They'll hunt humans the same way that they will hunt a seal. They view humans as food. So yes, they are the deadliest bear. You can look into this. Why make a video? Why not look into stuff? Why make a video? Why not just look into it?
Because I never bothered them myself. You know, I understand that it's a sort of respect you develop when you are in here.
A grizzly bear doesn't care if you respect it. If you startle a grizzly bear, they'll take your head off with their paw. Look at the size of a grizzly paw, and you might see what I mean.
You kind of understand that they're doing their thing, and you shouldn't be fuck all bullshit, throwing hot dogs to them, or whatever fucking bullshit people do these days. You shouldn't be doing any of that. Just let them do their thing. You do yours. If they want to do something with you, they will come to you. Don't yourself go. Let them do. You know. But anyway, I also took a bunch of photos sometimes. I got some a while ago about wolves and things. Sometimes I go out some night to do different kind of things. I don't talk about this sort of stuff in here because this is the juju tubes, if you know what I mean, right? But again, that's more kind of like a scapegoat type of thing, you know, that they want us to point fingers at these individuals, so that we have a sort of scapegoat to point the fingers to. They're the bad guy, you know, to prevent us from figuring out what is actually going on here. Also, what else that you said? Oh, about all these bugs that are poisonous. I said before, I believe they also are some sort of hijack, some sort of I don't even know how they do it, man. But you need to consider that we are talking about individuals who have a very high knowledge about this, about the physicality of this place. Therefore, they can pretty much do many things that we couldn't even possibly comprehend, right? If we want to talk...
I'm not forcing you to stay here. I'm not forcing you to leave here. If you're in love with Earth and you choose to stay, then stay. If you think this is a great place, and there's everything indication to show that they're trying to get humans to stay here and keep coming back here. If you think that's for your own good, stay on Earth then. Worship the Earth. Go ahead. You don't have to do what I'm doing. You can believe whatever you want.
Talk just about the physicality. But I myself believe, due to the sort of ethnical background I have, that this was all of the things that are here. They have a sort of a soul to them, a sort of will, whatever you want to call it, and they are all part of the creation, right? And the purpose of all of this, is just to experience it and be happy, right? The problem is that.
Oh, Jesus Christ! The purpose of all of this is just to experience it and be happy. Are you serious? I don't know if I'm gonna be able to watch to the end of this. I mean, come on.
Of the creation, right? And the purpose of all of this, is just to experience it and be happy, right? The problem is that then these forces from I don't know even from where. Some people say aliens. Some people say.
I had a feeling he was going to say aliens. Who cares what some people say? I've looked into all of that over the decades. You don't have to mention all this stuff to me. I mean, come up with some real evidence to prove me wrong, rather than some people say aliens.
That they are, as I said, the creators. They used to work with the creators.
Yeah. Enki and Enlil and the same old stories, Anunnaki. I've heard it all already. Here's the bear paws for grizzlies. So they won't bother you, but one of these paws can take your head right off your neck with one swipe. Look at the size of the claws. Look at the size of the paws. Some of you people have no idea how big a grizzly bear is or how big a polar bear is. They're huge, and you don't have to be throwing hot dogs at them for them to do something to you. Anyway, this seems to be going nowhere.
Creators to make this, and they came here to check on us, and then they decided to. Instead of checking on us, they decided to interfere in whatever the fuck they did. You know.
Yeah, that's a story. Where's the evidence of that? There's a lot of stories, a lot of creation stories, a lot of creation myths. Where's the evidence? This is good enough for most people. They just want to speculate. Well, speculation doesn't get you out of this realm. It doesn't get you freedom. It just gets you recycled and more slavery.
No, the Lucifer type of stuff that the Bible talks about, all that kind of stuff. And then they started messing around in here, and they created this sort of reality, so to speak, or this sort of how we want to call it, this sort of corruption that we live in these days, right? And it kind of makes sense because most of these dudes they look literally like us. They are possessed. The stuff they speak about, the way they behave, and it's very strange. What else? I don't know. I remember, but I understand your point of view. You're like, man, what the fuck? Why is that there is the earthquakes and all those? Also, those I believe not to be part of the natural order. We believe that at some point in time, this place was all about an island. Everything was connected, and there was no need to eat. We used to feed on the air, right? On the there was divine breath was there, and we used to breathe in and feed on it, and all the other creatures were exactly the same. But then when these individuals,
Yeah, we used to just feed on the air. Well, why do you have a stomach and a digestive system, a small and large intestine, and a whole digestive system with acids, with proteins, with acids, with all sorts of enzymes to digest food? Why is that part of your body if you just breathed and fed on air? Why is your body set up to digest food, to swallow it, to chew it, to have a mouth to chew it, and teeth, and the whole way down, all the way down to excreting waste out of your ass? Why is that the case? If you just fed on the breath, used your breath area and you fed on the air. See, it doesn't add up once you start thinking. Your stories don't add up. It's more copium and hopium. We didn't live on the air, okay? You have a digestive system that wasn't just sitting there unused. A whole system, including a liver, a spleen, a gallbladder, a stomach, large and small intestines, a whole system. Pancreas. You've got a whole system in your body for food, for digesting, for eating, and for waste, okay? Why would you have that if you were born to just breathe the air? Why would your body have that? Because it's designed that way. That's why. You didn't live off the air.
there was divine breath was there, and we used to breathe in and feed on it, and all the other creatures were exactly the same. But then when these individuals, this whatever the fuck they came, and they decided to disrupt all of it, and that's why we started eating each other, as a result of their corruption, as a result of their hijack, essentially. That's what we believe, right? And yeah, that's fucked up if you think about it, man. That's extremely fucked up. Like, also that you said that you don't believe that nature can provide for you. I don't believe so. I'm the living proof that if you understand that the base is the ground, that the ground is heaven, it's I know this kind of makes not much sense, but we believe that this creation was at some point based on the heavens, or it is sort of a heaven's energy, so to speak. Or now I'm not sure how to properly explain it in a way that makes any sort of logical sense. Like, I don't think it can be explained in a logical way, but hopefully you will understand what I'm trying to say here, even if my English is completely broken. But and the
Go out into a forest in Canada, see how much food you can gather in 8 to 10 hours of walking around. Some of you will come up empty. You won't even have edible berries in your hand. You'll have nothing to eat. Forests are not supermarkets. I'm not saying anything that's wrong. Nature doesn't provide shelter for you. You have to build it. Nature doesn't just provide food to you, clothing, shelter. You have to do all of that with toil, and it's very tough in any place that isn't civilized to survive. Very tough to survive without clothing, without a knife, without tools, naked out in the wilderness. Try it. Nature doesn't coddle you and support you. Most people, if they were put in the middle of the wilderness in a northern Canada forest, would die. Not just in the dead of winter, but in the summertime, in July, in northern Ontario, you'd die.
by us believing in only in and being distrustful of the ground that is essentially a piece of heaven, we are actually buying into their Saturnian, Satan, whatever it is, stuff that they promote, because they are the one who caused the corruption to essentially send us away from what could be called a piece of heaven, so to speak, right? And they did it in all those ways that you yourself spoke about, right? And also the stuff that you said that you cannot get.
Oh, it's my fault because I don't trust the earth. But what about when I was younger, when I had more trust for the earth? Did it change anything? No. It isn't about belief. It's about how this place is designed. I know you're stuck on believing it's good. It was hijacked. It was hijacked. It was hijacked. Well, then magically change it back. Make it a Garden of Eden again. Change it back. He'll say he doesn't know how, but he believes it was. Oh man, it's so frustrating dealing with people that have no evidence and they just talk about believe, 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 believe. What's the difference between you and a hippie, you and a New Ager, you and a cult follower, you and a Jehovah's Witness? What's the difference? You just have beliefs. You're free to believe whatever bullshit you want. But nature doesn't give a shit what you believe. It's still going to eat you.
Any food from nature. It's not true. I'm the living proof you actually can. The only little issue is that you're not going to get very much. You need to understand that there's a sort of order to it. And I believe there's also the order of the creation itself to be like this. because we weren't meant to eat to begin with. We used to just survive on breeding, right? Like all the rest of the animals. But then shit went array, and right, the corruption of this and this whatever fuck are they came from who even knows where, and they essentially ruined everything for us. And they created this modern system that people worship without even understanding what they're doing, because of like you always expose them, these individuals that pretend to be something done, you know. And there is still some food, but very little. You need to achieve, in my opinion, you need to achieve the stage in which you are able to survive without eating. You see, I don't believe that we were meant to eat this many times a day. I do not believe that there is like a makes any sense to go to the grocery store and buy whatever it is that they're selling. That doesn't make any sense. Man. Yeah. That makes us exactly dependent from this Saturnian system. Don't you see it? The more you are away from this, from what we our kind calls a piece of heaven, it's the more we are away from creations, the more we are away from harmony, the more we are away from what actually means being happy. And that's why they come here, they destroy this, they do all that fucked up bullshit with OTDs and all this other shit. Whatever, I don't even care anymore. Why I don't care? Because the more you care, the more you feed into that sort of mentality, that sort of energy these people promote, and that will lower you. That will make you feel exactly the way that you're not supposed to be feeling. You know, that will put you completely down. You know? And that's exactly what they want. For us, at least, real humans. You know, but there is food in here. You know, but it's very, 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 very little, very little, very, very little. In the terms of like very, very little, man. You know, especially in here because it's too far up north, so we don't have much. We just have a lot of berries and things in summer, and those are pretty nice. Then there is in this period of the year some mushrooms and still a little bit of those berries. But those are very bitter. You see, fruits in nature aren't actually sweet. They're pretty much bitter and very little bit sweet. And then the rest of the time, you gotta get your own. You know, small birds, rabbits, stuff like that. Getting the bigger animals is just too complicated. And I in many of my videos I explain that it's not something that you should. If you can avoid it, try to avoid it. You know. But what I'm trying to do here myself is trying to reach a level of detachment from all of this modern system of things. And I want to also try to experiment with the not eating, and see if I could reach that.
Okay, I'm done with the breatharian. I'm done with that. Experiment all you want. I tried to give your video a chance, but that's it. That's all I can stand to watch. It's ridiculous. I keep saying in evidence, please, in my latest video. Where is the evidence? Well, you don't have any evidence for this being hijacked. You just don't have any evidence. So it's a lot of talk without any evidence. Wish you luck. Go try to live without eating and just live off breathing air. Good luck. Good luck. Do I think that will work? No, I don't. I don't think so. Not at all. But good luck. Now we're going to go to something else here.